Alright, welcome back. We're a little bit far behind. We've fallen behind again. I've been ill again. The thing I had a couple of months ago where this side of my face is just full of pain and agony, that is apparently a recurring thing. That's just for the foreseeable future, the rest of my life, most likely. It's quite debilitating. I'm very tired. I've only slept like 3 or 4 hours a night since it flared up again. So I'm a little bit behind. But this is all ephemeral. This is all temporary. This is going to go away. Hard plastic, that is not recyclable, it's not biodegradable, it lasts forever. And what are models made of? You are correct, hard plastic. And there's 2 new models to check out, so that's what we're going to do right now. I'm going to timestamp past the intro in case you didn't want to watch that bit, because who cares? But then again, actually, just having it there, if you've heard this, you have... This is Grombrindal the White Dwarf, right? So they're doing a new model for this guy, and this one, I think, might be... It might be my favourite in that it's just very classic, very classic fantasy, this. I mean, we've got a dwarven lad standing on a horde of defeated enemies' armour and weapons. He has the classic, fancy, but not too fancy axe. You've got some kind of runic shapes going on there. Nice gem in the head of said axe. And, I mean, look at the beard. Look at that beard. That is a classic dwarf beard. I love this. It just feels very, not like retro necessarily. Can you even use that to describe fantasy stuff? I feel like that's a weird word to describe things of this kind, even if you're referring to a certain era of model design. It still doesn't feel like the right word for it, but you know what I mean. That classic fantasy book cover feel. If I saw this on the front of a novel, I would pick that novel up because clearly it's about a legendary dwarf warrior, and it would be a good read. This just has that vibe, and I really, really like it. Thankfully, they have done some alternate angles as well, so we can see more of the cloak. Lovely mix of fur and just classic cloak going on there. Like that a lot. There's a weird dip in the cloak. I'm not sure what's going on with the weird dip in the cloak. It kind of feels like they were aiming for a kind of snap, as though the wind is kind of making the cloth snap at the end. But it's sort of, I don't know, it looks like someone's taken a bite out of it. But I don't know if that's just me being a little bit sleep deprived as I look at this. Also, you can totally see just a few layer lines going on there, because we know at this point that the models are 3D printed. We get to see them before they're fully in production, or at least they're in production when we see the previews, so we know that happens, but I still occasionally catch a glimpse of a little series of lines, and I'm like, oh yeah, I forget that. There is a nice selection of armaments here as well. I mean, look at that. We've got chaos stuff, we've got a chaos helm, we've got a chaos shield, we've got a cruel boy shield. That's definitely a cruel boy spear as well. Nice mix of stuff from his fallen enemies. The boots look fantastic. I really like the kind of scale mail thing that's going on. Oh yeah. Yeah, this is good. I like this a lot. I do like the inclusion of some of the older Grombrindal models where they've kind of put him in hilarious and weird situations. The power armoured one still looks great. It just looks great. I don't know why I like it so much, but I do. I think the little grot sticking up out of the cake with his hands over his mouth probably helps a lot with that one, to be honest. And that's the thing, right? These are all really fun. They're all very tongue-in-cheek. They're all a bit silly. But are they as good as just a classic fantasy dwarf? I don't know. I think even though concept-wise this might be the most boring one, I'm doing the thing, the boring. Not actually boring, but it's not as imaginative as a director or... I don't know if pirates are pirates imaginative. I suppose kind of, but for some reason this one is just hitting the spot. It's just absolutely hitting the spot for me there. Now it's not just him. We also have the new Skaven model. I've been really enjoying the new Stormcast stuff. The new Stormcast stuff does look really good, and I am happy to see it. But we've had a lot of Stormcast stuff over the years. There's been a lot of kind of new units, refreshes of the armor. We've got the Thunderstrike stuff. We've got all sorts of new fancy stuff for the Stormcast Eternals, pretty much constantly since they were released. In the history of Age of Sigmar, we've not had anywhere near as much stuff for the Skaven. So when we do get new Skaven, it feels more special, and the fact that we know we're getting a whole bunch of them, I mean, that makes it extra special, let's be honest. This is the new Skaven Warlock Engineer, and I'm in two minds. I'm in two minds with this. On the one hand, I think this is a really, really cool model. I really like it. There's something very purposeful. There's something very menacing. I quite like the pose being less kind of in combat and more overseeing what's happening. I like all of these things. I think the like actual detail, the sculpt itself, all of that stuff, I think it looks great. It's really nice and crisp. Got some really nice kind of Skaven-y touches all over it, as you'd expect, because it's Skaven, especially the gun, which looks mad. We've got like battered armor, we've got torn cloth in the form of those robes and stuff. The telescope is needlessly complex. I like all of that stuff, but I also feel like it's so not bizarre and chaotic. Now, I know like not all Skaven can be bizarre and chaotic. Like, they can't all be nutters, or at least they can't all be nutters 100% of the time. There's got to be some sort of sensible thing happening somewhere for stuff to be built and for things to actually happen. And this is clearly one of the getting things done Skaven, as opposed to one of the I'm going to ride this Gatling gun down a hill firing whilst laughing maniacally Skaven. But at the same time, it somehow feels a little bit weird that he isn't holding a stick of dynamite or something like that. I really, really like it, but I don't know. I think the trailer for the Skaven versus the Stormcast also painted them in such a kind of horde of like relentless, insane, not like bloodthirsty, but it kind of gave this vibe of just a whole army determined to just go for it. This is so much more of like an overseer sort of model that it doesn't stand at odds with what Skaven are, but a little part of me is still like, oh, I feel like there needs to be just a hint of madness going on there. But then again, I don't even know if that's a fair like comment or criticism to make. I don't know whether that's just down to personal biases, whether it's just down to kind of becoming very used to the idea of Skaven being these mischievous scamps who blow stuff up and do insane things with warpstone. I do really like the model. I really, really do. It just, even if it's just like one guy on the base looking a bit mad, I don't know. It's just so calm. I think that's the thing. It's so calm. Not necessarily in a bad way, but it took me a moment to get used to it. The thing is, though, it looks fantastic. It really, really does. We've got a bit of, like, mechanical debris on the floor, which I really like. There's a little bit of what looks like warpstone on the base, which is really fun. As I said before, the weapon looks great. Having a little rat on the shoulder, love that. And the kind of contraption on the back that we can't currently see, I'm looking forward to being able to see what that is properly. Also, a full prosthetic leg going on there. That, like, just little things like that, like the damage to the cloth, the damage to the armor, the prosthetic leg, all that sort of thing is like little bits of storytelling, which I really, really like. Now, there's no alternate angles in the article, but there is a little video so we can check out some of this stuff in closer detail. The little rat guy is so good. I want to know what that thing on the back of him does. It does look cool, though. Yeah, we've got little warpstone contained 2 canisters. Yeah, that looks great. Oh, it's so good. It's like, I already liked it, but it's growing on me even more now. Now, we might not have static images with alternate angles, but we do have the War Scroll, which makes me very happy because it looks like Sniping Heroes is in. Sniper Master, declare a visible enemy hero to be a target. Effect for the rest of the turn. This unit and friendly Warplock Jezzail units wholly within 13 inches of this unit can ignore the effects of the guarded hero ability when picking the target for their shooting attacks. Love that. Absolutely love it. Also, being able to overcharge the Warplock Jezzail is, oh, chef's kiss. Love it. So, there you go. 2 lads revealed this week. I know we're a bit behind, but as I said, I'm not doing great. I'm trying to just keep going and continue. I mean, I've made some progress on another Baneblade. That's something, right? I don't know how I'd forgotten from building this one, the finished one, how much of a pain the Baneblade was to assemble, but I had forgotten, and yeah, kind of annoying as kits go. I mean, I'm happy with what I've done with it, but it's not the smoothest assembly process. Whoever came up with the way the tracks go on, they need a stern talking to, because who thought that was a good idea? Anyway, that's massively off topic. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know what you thought of those 2 in the comments down below. In the meantime, feel free to click all the things. As always, your support is especially appreciated, even more than normal, which I would, previously have thought is impossible as I sort of navigate my way through what's going on. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you for the next one.